President Trump's decision to double tariffs on steel and aluminum imports from 25% to 50% on May 30th triggered a sharp response across metals markets, most notably in silver. July silver surged 4.9% in the two sessions immediately following the announcement, nearly doubling the broader precious metals sector's 2.5% gain over the same period.
Welcome to the Morning Markets and Metals with Vince Lanci, where each morning Vince brings you the financial and precious metals news to get you ready for your day. And now, here's Vince.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Vince Lanci. This is the GoldFix Market Rundown at 7:24 in the AM. We're going to talk about, I think, silver today, right? Yeah, why not? It's up $1.34. It's up 4.9, 8.6% since we brought it up. Pat myself on the back. All right, so let's get serious. There's the homepage. That's a report. Well, it's a post that we wrote up yesterday based on a report out of a bullion bank that has been spot on in the markets recently, but they might have fumbled the ball in silver a little bit, we're happy to say. Top left-hand side, Goldman, buy gold, not stocks, not bonds, not stocks, not anything, just buy gold and silver. Stable coins will rescue the U.S. bond market. That echoes the conversation that I had with Tom Luongo yesterday, following up on his conversation with Caitlin Long about how stable coins will be the nation that encourages everyone to buy treasuries and save the U.S. Treasury bond market, sacrificing the U.S. dollar market along the way. Fantastic idea, actually. But yeah, I think this is a really good explanation of that. We didn't write that. Top right-hand side, Bank of America takes a look at silver and Franco-Nevada's big mine royalty purchase. That's some analysis by them. Lower right-hand side, interesting analysis. Japan's view on the U.S.-China war risk. So looking at it through their lens. I mean, let's face it, Japan has the most to lose based on how we interact with China in that part of the world. So they are in a little bit of a double bind situation there. But it's a very thought-provoking analysis, and Mavs wrote that after doing some research of his own. All right, so here we go. Today's title is the main event, right? Superman Silver. On the silver note, yesterday we recorded a conversation with Jordan Roy Byrne on gold and silver, of course, but the focus was silver going forward. And we both concluded that silver is in a situation very similar to where gold was. It's like 14 or 16 months ago, I forget. But gold had ended a quarter on its highs, close to all-time highs or something like that. And we both looked at each other. Technically, he was like, oh, this is really good for X, Y, and Z reasons. And I was like, well, this is really good from macro discretionary reasons. And so that turned out to be just wildly accurate. Now, although we're not predicting, he says, well, look at this. And we pull up a quarterly chart, and the quarterly chart looks phenomenal, right? And then he basically says, look, if we settle above 35 on the quarterly chart, it will be the second highest quarterly close ever. And immediately I went, oh, shit, then they're going to buy it. Anyway, so the video is not even out yet, okay? So there you go. We're setting the markets. No, we're not setting the markets. We're just getting to where we think the puck will be. All right, Superman Silver. Let's pull a chart up for your entertainment purposes. How's that? Is that a good one? Silver Superman hourly chart. The dollar is down 1.5, down 2. S&P 500 is 596, 597, up 2. VIX is 1770, unchanged bid. Gold is up 24, dragged higher by silver today. Silver is up $1.30. That's almost 4%, trading 35.74. That's spot. Copper is 4.95. up only 2%, up 9.5 cents. WTI is 63.14, up 16. Natural gas 344, down 2. Bitcoin 104,700, up 59. Platinum and palladium are both up. This is white metal fever. We'll explain what's going on here in a minute. Platinum, palladium, I just said that. Gold, silver is now respectively below 97. Soybeans down 3, corn up 3, wheat up 2, and this is not about China. Okay, let's get to the story. This is about silver in the context of other base metals. Let me see if I can find that. Here we go. That's what I'm looking for. Pardon me while I adjust this. Jadoub. All right, so why we're going to read this and we'll talk about why silver is up. President Trump's decision to double tariffs on steel and aluminum imports from 25% to 50% on May 30th triggered a sharp response across metals markets, most notably in silver. July silver surged 4.9% in the 2 sessions immediately following the announcement, nearly doubling the broader precious metals sector's 2.5% gain and over the same period. The move highlights silver's sensitivity to industrial policy shifts, particularly those involving trade barriers on strategic metals. That's a chart. Partly, there's the post that we put out on it. Bank trader, silver outshines on tariff shock. Now, that chart there is a slope of the silver that went into the COMEX vaults. Continuing with the story, COMEX silver inventories on that note have built significantly since January, when the U.S. repatriation boom began. Despite much talk of the metal moving back to London since then, inventories sit at record highs in the U.S. Perhaps it is some preparation for tariff reinstatement, and that was not in vain after all. So, in the nutshell, what's going on here is leading up to the tariff implementation in Liberation Day, I think we called it, in April 4th. Silver was bought, copper was bought, everything that was metallic that was used industrially in the U.S. was being loaded up. I mentioned this the other day, a conversation with Josh Fair at Scottsdale. He mentioned that, companies like GE, companies that use silver in electronics extensively were saying, well, shit, if silver is going to go up in price, we'll buy it and get it over with because it's not going to go bad, right? It's not like food. And so they did that. And when the tariffs were unimplemented, or whatever you want to call them, put on pause, you had a big hangover. You had people that bought silver on speculation because they thought this would happen. They were wrong. They had to sell. You had people that leased silver at 7-8% that all of a sudden couldn't sell it at higher prices on their lease. And so they had to unwind their leases. And so silver started trickling back to London. And everyone was like, oh, this is the end of the silver. It's going to go back to London. No, it's not. Because the tariffs are an event. Well, they're a process, right? It's like the gold thing. They're a process, right? Trump's not going to change his mind. I mean, there's going to be the genie's out of the bottle on most stuff, right? Whether there's a tariff or not, there's going to be restraints of trade on these metals. Now, the Superman, to the Superman analogy, one of the most interesting things about Superman to me was that when Batman figured out they had to neutralize him, the government put him in a jail with a red sun. And he never gets out. Silver is kind of like Superman. He never gets out. He's in jail. He's under government control. He's used by the government as a weapon. They let him out to kill people, and then they put him back in. I don't know. It's a paradox, but silver is like the Superman metal. Okay, so enough about that. That's the whole story. Silver is up strong. I have been telling people about this since last 2 weeks in May. I started getting pointed about it on our chat. If you're wondering, is it going to infinity? It could. It could. I don't think it will, but it could. But above 35, I'll stick by this. Above 35, 40 should not be a problem at the end of June, right? Should not be, right? With regards to the trade that I put on, and one of the few trades that I discussed because it was so clean and easy to explain. My signal is done, meaning from here on in, it's a crapshoot if it goes up or down according to my systems. Fortunately, it can go up or down 5, 10, 20%. This is, what happens. We're into the fundamental, like the initial impulse that I described that happened. We're out of the gate. And so now there's bigger forces at play. Is there real buying that has to be done for the tariffs? Yes. Are there people who don't want it to go up because they're overly short silver against being long gold? Yes. Who's going to blink first? I don't know, but that's it. So I'm taking off over half of my position today and putting a stop in on the rest. Just so you know that. That doesn't apply to miners. Those of you who are in the miners, more so than me, understand. Well, maybe you don't understand, but let me just echo what you believe. I'm describing a silver trade. Miners are in play now. Miners are outperforming gold, outperforming silver. And, the US normal investor, they're going to put some into ETFs, but they're going to put some into miners too, because miners add value. Silver's a rock. It's a piece of metal, right? And while it's important and key, you can't add value to silver. Well, you add value to silver, and that's how you get paid. So these companies are going to be adding value because they're using operating leverage, they're using financial leverage, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that's it. Okay, so miners are the new tech stock. Next. This week, we already put out the coming war with China through Japan's eyes. We put that out. These other 3 posts here, America at the Crossroads, Stagflation, or 1990 Goldilocks. Again, that's on the HeartNet post that we did last 2 weeks ago. The post-COVID world and how everything changed. That's a lecture that I did at End of the COMEX era, Gold Repricing and the Rise of Physical Markets. That's coming out, and every time a headline comes out on metals, we put those on hold, happily, right? All right, we'll get to those today or tomorrow. Related posts, we just threw all the silver posts that we put up there over the last week or so. Silver on the edge. Bank of America says silver to $40 in 2025. Bank Trader silver outshines. We discussed that. Bank of America, we mentioned that. There are no summer doldrums for gold. All the way down to the very bottom there, May 25th is the first time we said, hey, silver's on our radar, and if X happens, then Y should happen. Moving on. On deck today, jobless claims, trade deficit, and U.S. productivity, and then assorted talking heads speak about why they know more things than you do. Non-farm payrolls is Friday. I'm Vince. Final check on the markets. Well, it looks like we're doing an all silver day here. Dear gold bugs. Sorry. Oh, I don't want to have this chart up. All right, so now that the euphoria is over, we're all happy. We've seen that. All right. So the daily, you're like, okay, that looks cool. We broke above this, but it's really significant, Look at it on a weekly basis and you say, oh shit, right? 35, 35, 35. This is, this is real selling. This is bullshit. And this is bullshit disproven. I'm Vince. Have a great day, everyone.
Well, thanks for watching this morning's Markets and Metals with Vince Lanci. Hope you enjoyed the show as always and appreciate you spending some time with us here. And before we wrap up, did want to mention that today's show was brought to you by Dolly Varden Silver. And as you've noticed, we've given you some of their updates over the past couple weeks as they've been expanding their land package in the Golden Triangle and also getting an exploration program up and running, and it is now underway. And fortunately, we have some commentary on how that's coming along already from Sean Kunkin, the CEO of Dolly Varden.
With these acquisitions that represent less than 2% dilution, we've gone from 2 past-producing silver mines to 5. We've also locked up 30 kilometers of prospective Hazelton Jurassic Age rocks in the Golden Triangle. So we've got the prospectivity, and because of our understanding, some of the new discoveries we've made at Homestake Silver, at Wolf, taking that science and taking that knowledge and applying it to the Porter property, applying it to the Mountain Boy property, applying it to Hecla's Kinskutch. I think there are timely deals. I think there are smart deals, and there are situations where, in the case of the Hecla deal, we're taking Hecla, who's been a supportive shareholder, and they're essentially bringing in their project for shares. So they're increasing their ownership and allowing our scientists and our expertise on a contiguous property to continue to grow and expand. So I think, again, the company's always been very active. But now that we've got momentum, now that we've got 30 million in the bank, we just secured 4 rigs are in the field, turning 24 hours a day. So the activity, the news will continue, and it's a very, very exciting time for not only Dolly Varden, not only the Golden Triangle, but with recent discoveries made in BC, in the Toodoggone, which is part of the Golden Horseshoe. This is going to be one of the most active summers of BC exploration ever.
Well, thank you, Sean. Thank you, Dolly Varden. Thank you, Vince. And thank you at home for watching today's show. Sure hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you again tomorrow.